Many years ago, in the nestled village of Kaupiyam, Omia, there lived a girl named Amaka. Her mother died during childbirth, leaving her in the care of her father, Isu, who later remarried when Amaka was just 4 years old. His new wife, Ifi, was a loving and caring stepmother, until she had a daughter of her own, Machi. At first, Amaka was thrilled to have a younger sister and tried to be the best big sister she could be. However, Ifi's love for Amaka faded, and she forbade her from getting close to Machi. Worse still, Ifi constantly reminded Amaka that she had no mother, making her childhood miserable. Amaka often cried and reported the mistreatment to her father, but Isu had little control over Ifi, who had grown too powerful in the household. As years passed, the two girls blossomed into beautiful young women, but the hatred between them deepened. Ifi made sure Amaka did all the house chores, fetching firewood from the farm, collecting water from the stream and cooking, all while receiving barely any food. Meanwhile, Machi enjoyed the comforts of life, doing nothing while being pampered by her mother. The burden of watching his daughter suffer weighed heavily on Isu, and he soon developed high blood pressure. His health declined rapidly, and one fateful day he passed away, leaving Amaka completely orphaned. At the same time, news spread that the Prince of Omiya, Aini, who had been sent abroad at the age of 6 for his education, was finally returning. As per tradition, the king's trusted advisor, Min, was tasked with selecting 6 of the most beautiful maidens in the village to stay in the palace for 2 months. From among them, the prince would choose his future queen. Among the chosen were Machi, Amaka, and 4 other young women. Excitement filled the air as preparations began. Maidens polished their appearances, some even seeking the aid of village charms to secure favor. Ifi, determined to make Machi the prince's choice, bought the finest skincare products and ensured her daughter's skin glowed like glass. Meanwhile, she intensified Amaka's suffering, forcing her to work harder, bathe only once every 2 days, and wear the same tattered clothes to make her look undesirable. One of the village women, Adugo, noticed Ifi's cruelty and warned her, "What you're doing to Amaka is wrong. The world is unpredictable. You don't know what the future holds for this girl." Ifi scoffed, "My daughter's future is secure. Amaka will never be anywhere near her." A desperate prayer. On the eve of departure to the palace, Amaka, exhausted and broken, sat in a corner of the house, whispering a prayer through her tears. "O Lord, protect all pregnant women so they don't die and leave their children to suffer as I have suffered. And if my life has any purpose, may your will be done." The next morning, while Machi packed her expensive clothes, Amaka had nothing but the worn-out dress on her back. Just as she stepped out to leave, Ifi slapped her hard and ordered her to stay behind. "You will not disgrace me at the palace looking like this," Ifi sneered. Machi mocked her, saying, "Try to have a mother in your next life." She then left for the palace, leaving Amaka crushed and hopeless. As she sat sobbing, Adugo arrived and saw her distress. When Amaka explained everything, Adugo turned to Ifi in anger. "You were meant to be her protector, yet you've become her tormentor. Where is your conscience, Ifi?" Ifi laughed. "Amaka will never amount to anything." But Adugo was determined. She took Amaka to her house, gave her a proper bath, fresh clothes, and food. Then, she escorted her to the palace. At the palace gate, the guards hesitated to let Amaka in, but when they informed the king that one girl was missing, he ordered them to allow her inside. Amaka was relieved. She was paired with Zara, another maiden, and for the first time in her life she felt safe. Secretly, the king had installed cameras throughout the palace to observe the maiden's true nature. In the first week, everyone behaved well, but by the second week, true colors emerged. Machi, jealous of Amaka's hard work and humility, tried to sabotage her. She caused trouble, but Amaka remained disciplined, earning the respect of the palace staff. Ifi, desperate to secure Machi's victory, smuggled a charm into the palace, instructing Machi to use it on the prince. The next morning, Machi greeted the prince, and immediately he became obsessed with her, treating her as if she were already queen. The charm also made other men act strangely, except for Amaka, who was never part of the competition. During this time, Amaka grew close to the Chief Palace Guard, who was kind and protective of her. One day, he jokingly said, "If I were rich, I'd marry you immediately." Amaka smiled. "You don't have to be rich.